To build a positive live chat experience for you and your viewers, number one, choose who can participate. Everybody. Number two, set a delay between messages. I think that's for people who think slow, like kids these days. Hey, so-and-so texted me and said this. What should I say back? Fuck, I'm not texting him. You are. Donald Trump is Jesus Christ. What are you talking about? Yeah, I've got this on my phone. I saw that. I don't think it's funny, personally. And I'm not even that thin-skinned. I just think that if you're going to talk about ending civilization and, praise be unto Allah after you threaten to annihilate an entire civilization, you don't get to make jokes like that. Those jokes are off limits. And by the way, the fact that the original one, as a joke, had a soldier in the middle, not a demon, I think that says a lot. Because as you know, you can Google this. Donald Trump refused to put his hand on the Bible when he took the oath of office. He wouldn't touch the Bible. All right, well, that's, hey, that's your thing, man. If you're an atheist, that's cool. I'm not gonna dog you for being an atheist. But if you're gonna do that and then you're gonna do this, in my opinion, that is mocking. You're mocking Christians. And I understand it's easy to mock Christians, because if you mock Christians or something like that, are they going to come and just cut your head off? No, that's that other religion. Are they going to send you a pager that blows up and explodes and blows your guts out all over the kid standing next to you in the grocery store when it kills them too? No. By the way, something that a lot of people don't understand. Whoa. That was loud. Oh, that's my ringer. That's not actually a duck. No ducks were harmed in the making of that ringer. What other religion? You know exactly what religion. Come on. Name a religion where if you draw a picture of the prophet, they'll kill you. So here's the thing. Do the math. Let's just do the math, okay? Let's do the math. And then I'm done talking about politics, because Tic Tac is the most uber 1939 German nationalist place I've ever seen in my life. Like, you follow the political line or you disappear. Like, these guys make China look like a bunch of fucking Boy Scouts. So I'm not messing around too much, because I actually talk about silver and I talk about econ, and I'm extremely good at that. So I want to stick to that and the fact that we're about to step off into something that could end our civilization. Yeah, if God has a plan, Trump's included, but he may not be included the way we think. That's the thing. If you believe in God, then nothing happens outside of God, period. Unless it's God with a little g, like Zeus, which is cool with me. I don't care. Bottom line is this: when you see that he won't touch the Bible, when you see that the Christian Bible, let's make sure we understand that Christian Bible. But when you see what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania, okay, all of a sudden there's no looking into this anymore. There's no investigation. No investigation. Who shot the president? A wild, crazy kid. Oh, did that wild, crazy kid have a media, like a social media presence? Nope. Yeah, he did. Nope. Yes, he fucking did. Okay, whatever. We don't care. Okay, now what? Well, let's just let it go. Hey, let's not look over our shoulder. Let's not try to steer in the rearview mirror, bro, because that's not how you get ahead in life. Okay, you look ahead, you move forward. You don't just stand around waiting for something to come to you. You go get it. Whatever. There was no investigation done, which tells me something very clearly. The president already knows who did that, who was responsible for that. And he knows it wasn't Iran. Now, this is something that a lot of people have to understand, that, and they don't understand this. They never heard about this. They don't even know that it's true yet. But you can go check this. You can Google it. This is a fact. It actually happened. And it was very unsettling for the people who understand. Now, some of you are dense, dumber than a bag of hammers, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, I say to my wife, honey, I think your beauty is timeless. And she says, oh my gosh, you big, you know, whatever, makes fun of me for being so mushy. And you know, my buddy who's a plumber sees that and he's like, damn, that was smooth. Beauty's timeless. All right. I'm actually gonna steal that. And he goes home and he tells his wife, hey babe, your face could stop a clock. You know that, right? Well, that's not really what I said. That's not actually at all what I said. But he doesn't understand it because he's not a wordsmith. He doesn't understand innuendo. So let me explain what innuendo looks like, what intimation looks like. When I kill a bunch of people with pagers, and then my first trip over to meet the new president, who's the old president, who didn't really do everything I wanted him to do last time. This time I go over, and my first inauguration present to the new president of the United States is a golden pager. If you killed a bunch of bad people that were your enemies with pagers, and of course a lot of innocents too, but whatever, they don't count because they're those kind of people, right? So they don't matter. They're not actually humans according to these people. So you kill all these people with a pager, and then the first time you see me afterwards, you go, oh, hey, this one's for you. What am I supposed to think about that? What does that mean? This one's for you. Now, a lot of you may think that, oh, it's just a bad sense of humor. You know, Netanyahu's not super funny. He doesn't understand how to be hilarious. That's not what it meant at all. And we all know it. Let's be honest with ourselves. That was the prime minister of Israel giving a warning to my president, saying, be careful, or we'll have one of these for you. As a matter of fact, here, take this golden one as a commemorative gift. Okay, well, you know what? If that's the way you want to play the game, you better not be too obvious about it. And the pager was so obvious that it makes you wonder, like, are they not afraid at all that they're going to get caught? Because clearly now they're caught. Now they're caught. Now everybody knows that this war is about them. They started it. They pushed us into it. They lied to the president February 11th. And think about this. The only foreign leader who has ever been allowed to go down into the Situation Room underneath the White House, ever. Who's in charge of this government now? Because the president sits at the end of the table, but not this time. This time he sat across from Netanyahu in the middle of the table, like they were equals, even though they were in the Situation Room beneath the White House. And I think Marco Rubio, even though he's a feckless turd who just wants to overthrow Cuba for no reason whatsoever, he said it best. When asked what he thought about the plan, He apparently said to the others in the room, it's bullshit. Okay. That's pretty clear. That's pretty clear. Well, the last time Netanyahu used the bathroom in the White House, they did find a bug in the bathroom afterwards. It's like, come on, man. Oh my gosh. I just got a restriction for bullying and harassment. Now they're going to restrict my visibility for the next 10 minutes because I was bullying somebody. Unbelievable. Non-human? Well, when did I say non-human? And by the way, I made it all the way to 6th grade. Trump's in charge of the globe. Yeah. That's why he shut down the Strait of Hormuz to open it. Isn't that like having sex to regain your virginity? That doesn't make sense. Yeah, I guess I'm being too mean to Benny Netanyahu. Let's see. He's going to make them drink their on oil. Let's just leave it at that, huh? They're on oil. Wow. All right. So, by the way, when I get kicked off of here, Ellison is bigly mad now. Yeah, no shit. He made a blockade on the Straits of Hormuz that has no traffic. Well, it's easier that way. Look, Trump is playing 62D chess, okay? And when I say 62D chess, I mean 62 dementia chess. What he's done is he shut off the Strait of Hormuz while it was already shut down because it's easier. Why waste energy, bro? I like your thinking on that one. He shut down the strait that was shut down because it's easier to shut it down once it's shut it down. And by the way, just so you know, when we say that this will all be over in 2 weeks, we are talking about the same 2 weeks that it would take Iran to get a nuclear weapon. And we all know that 2 weeks has taken 47 years so far. Yeah. That the first time we had 2 weeks was 1996. It really started in 82, but let's just round up. Let's call it 96. So in 96, we only had 2 weeks. So when we say we have 2 weeks left before we just totally annihilate these Iranian pussies, these feckless turds who don't have a chance. What? Like, is this out? No, that's the funny part. We will only have this earth and you will be happy when World War III starts. That's funny. There's a problem with that. It can't be a world war. And the reason I say it can't be a world war is because the United States, on behalf of Israel, is fighting everyone else. So China and India and Russia, those are the 3 biggest countries in the world right now, as far as like GDP and size and everything. Russia's the smallest, but I mean, you've got 1.4 billion people in India. It's officially larger than China. You've got approximately 1 billion people in China, and you've got about 275 million in Russia. Russia has oil and resources like nobody's business. All of Siberia is full of oil and resources. China has production like you can't imagine because they make everything for the world. And then India has the common sense to keep their fucking mouth shut and just watch all this. Woo! So it's not really a world war. It's the United States and their parasitic flea, Israel, who sucks off of our blood flow. And that's it. That's really it. It's us against the whole world. That's so great. We've managed to turn people who were frenemies and allies into just straight up, they hate us. Well, shit. And now the world looks at us the same way that Donald Trump's wife looks at him, with nothing but anger, disdain, and disappointment. Wow. Okay. So, how does that affect us, though? Like, do we really give two shits about this? Do we really care? I mean, come on. It's just our economy. Yeah. Who cares about how the world looks at us? Right. Dimitri, that's funny. Yeah, because we don't need the world. Fuck them. We don't need them. All we need is this chair. Little quote from The Jerk there. Most of you are too young. You've never seen The Jerk, Steve Martin. It was like a Coen movie before the Coens could make movies. It's interesting. Anyway, bottom line is this. We can act like we don't need the rest of the world. But here's the problem. If we want to take over Canada, which we've said we would do, we want to, and we could have until we made such complete fools of ourselves on the world stage with this Iranian debacle. If we want to somehow cut a deal with Mexico, which we can't do now, because now we're stuck between Israel and by the way, remember who runs Mexico. The president's name is Sheinbaum. Now, I know you're thinking, wait, is that an ancient Olmec name or an ancient Aztec name? Or could that possibly be, no, that was Mayan. Or was it the Amara Indians from South America that used Sheinbaum? So we got a Sheinbaum running Mexico. We got the first Israeli president running the United States. We took out a very Christian conservative in Venezuela who would not allow for usury, didn't allow same-sex marriage, wouldn't allow sex change operations. I mean, this guy was very conservative. Yeah, we got a serious issue here because it is a little bit like a Saturday Night Live skit, except the president is actually the president. That's terrifying that guy is actually our president. And keep in mind, I was just as fooled as the next guy. Like, I thought when this time came around, like, okay, this is going to be a way different version of Trump. Like, he saw how everybody in the world made fun of him. He saw how the people in Europe dogged him about being a low-class turd. He's coming back with a vengeance this time. This time he's going to handle it. Well, what I didn't realize is that by the time he took the oath of office, he wouldn't touch a Bible, a Christian Bible. Now, there's something to that. Keep in mind that his son-in-law is an Orthodox Jew, and his daughter converted to Orthodox Judaism. That's not Reformed Judaism. Orthodox is a very serious version. Well, that's the problem. I'd like to say that he surrounded himself with ass kissers. I don't think they're ass kissers. I think they're ass kickers. Because Susie Wiles is his chief of staff. Who's the most important person in the government other than the president? Who whispers in the president's ear all day long? Mr. President, I don't necessarily think that's our best choice. Mr. President, although that may look good here, this could be the consequences later on. That's why you have a chief of your staff. Your staff is there to back you up, to help you, to make things go smoothly. Your chief of staff is absolutely the last word. And Susie Wiles is his chief of staff. Now, initially, when I saw that she was a businesswoman, she had helped run his campaign, et cetera, I was like, okay, you know what? I get it. But then when I found out that the last job she had before that was running Benjamin Netanyahu's campaign, because she is Jewish, and that was her job. Now, nobody knows, and it's been almost impossible to find out if she's even a citizen of the United States only, or if she's a dual citizen. Because if you have a dual citizen as the second most powerful person in your government, the person who literally whispers in the president's ear and gets him to make decisions one way or the other, and this is who we've got, is somebody who represents a foreign government, who is loyal to a different country. I see that as an issue. Call me crazy, but I see that as an issue. So I would say that, and by the way, the reason I'm not on my other channel right now is because my ban is finally up, but it's not up until 8 o'clock. So I wanted to go on at 7, so I figured this is the best place to go on at 7. Now, you'll notice, for those of you who notice this sort of thing, you'll notice that my initial, when I first went live, my initial amount of people watching took off. Got up into the 300s at one point at a time. And then the moment I started talking about politics, it dropped down. Now it's 44. This is called being throttled back. This is censorship. This is actually censorship in real time. What you're watching right now is you're watching a rich billionaire take my free speech away from me. And his point is, you have all the free speech you want, just not on my platform or the other guy's platform. I don't know if he's Jewish or not, but you're not talking about Israel on my platform. Well, but wait a minute, Larry Ellison, you're not Jewish, but you were raised, your adoptive parents who adopted you very young, they are. And you gave $100 million to the IDF last year. $100 million. That's a hell of a gift, man. I've had some good friends in my life. Nobody's ever given me $100 million just for being alive. So that's okay. You could send me over to Sergey Brin. Oh, right. Sergey Brin. That's Google. No, he's not going to like this talk either. And what does he own? YouTube, the other thing I'm on. But at least Sergey's cool enough that he's like, I may not like it, but, say what you're going to say. Just don't go too crazy. Elon Musk, on the other hand, is saying, no, say whatever you want. As a matter of fact, I don't even like X because it's too much just pure rage bait. It's just garbage on top of garbage on top of garbage. So what you have to do is you have to throttle it back to where you can only follow a couple of people. You have to be very specific. Otherwise, all you get all day long is just black kids beating up on white kids. I don't know where all that shit came from, but one after another, I'm scrolling, or black kids, having some enormous shootout in the middle of a fucking amusement park or something. And it's like, who put all this crap on my feed? I didn't want this. I don't want to see this all day, every day. I don't want to know how bad off my country is. I mean, first, let's do this. Let's concentrate on what's important. Okay. And what's the most important thing to me? Let's get the fuck out of Iran. Let's quit pissing away money that we don't need to piss away on enemies that don't actually exist first. Right now, there are just in Arizona, which is a relatively small state. In Arizona, in the last 12 months, 180,000 children have lost their food stamp benefits. 180,000 children go hungry now. And why do they go hungry? They go hungry because the big, beautiful bill said they had to. Period. If you don't cut back a certain amount of fraud in a certain amount of time, then you get all kinds of problems from the federal government. So what states have done is they've just said, hey, look, you know what? We don't know if you're legit or not, but unless you've got 100 ways to verify everything and you do it all in the right way at the right time and you're super poor and you can prove you're super poor, if you're even close to the line, we're just saying no. Well, so all those single moms out there, all those single dads out there, all those people who, your back got hurt, you got laid off. Okay, look, you're fucked. You're fucked, period. There's nothing that the government will do to help you. Did you pay your taxes? Yep. Did you pay into the system? Yep. Do you deserve to be helped a little bit? Yep. Absolutely. You deserve the help. You paid your taxes all those years and now you just need a little help. Nope. Absolutely not. Woo! So 400,000 families have lost SNAP benefits in the last year, just in Arizona. 400,000 families. That's a huge number. It's almost 500,000 families are now going hungry. 180,000 children. 180,000 children don't get to eat breakfast tomorrow morning. They have to get to school and get a school lunch. And that may be the only thing they eat tomorrow. And the president said last week that we can't afford these wasteful social programs. I don't understand. I mean, call me stupid. My exes do sometimes. So the question is, why? If we can spend $2 billion every single day on a war with Iran, and let's be honest, I mean, are they really a threat to us or are they a threat to Israel? They're not really a threat to us. Think about it. When was the last time that they attacked us? 1982? President said, oh, well, the USS Cole, they tried to destroy one of our destroyers. But that's absolutely wrong. You can actually go on Wikipedia or Google it and see that was actually Osama bin Laden. He's a Sunni. He's not even a Shia Muslim. He hates Shia Muslims. So we're over there fighting a war for people who, if you don't know this, I don't want to burst your bubble or anything, but if you don't know this, the Mishnah Torah was written by what most Jews agree. It was the greatest, most learned rabbi of all time in Spain, I believe in the 1200s. And he was absolutely the authority on rabbinic laws. And that's, you have to understand, that's, and when they say that the Old Testament's a book of laws, it is. It's not our book. It's not Christian. It's not a Christian book at all, whatsoever. It never uses the word Christ once, or Jesus Christ. But when the Mishneh Torah was written, the rabbi who wrote it, who is still to this day agreed upon by all of the Jews that he was their greatest scholar, their most learned rabbi of all time. Like, he is the final word. He said very explicitly that when you reference Jesus, the Nazarene, because they won't call him the Christ, because Christ means prophet sent by God. They don't believe that. They think he was a lying turd. So he said, and this is the way he wrote his book. Every time you use the words Jesus the Nazarene, you must use it as a curse. It is a curse because Jesus Christ was accursed. He was a curse upon the Jewish people. Therefore, every time he used the term Jesus the Nazarene, he followed it up by the words, may his bones be crushed eternally. Now, I'm not a biblical scholar. Hell, I'm not even a rocket scientist. But I do know this. If every time you introduced me at a party and you said, oh, this is this is Big, the corn-fed, may his bones be crushed eternally. After a while, I would start to get the impression that you did not like me. Now, I know you're thinking, well, Big and corn-fed, you're just a sensitive guy. I know. That's true. I am. Very. Here's my point. We're fighting wars for people who hate us. Really? Are we that stupid as a nation? Are we really that stupid? I mean, I get it. Our IQ in the United States, the average IQ is 98. Okay? The average human IQ is supposed to be 100. So we're right in there. Like, we're pretty close. We're almost there. So how is it Democrat? Is that a joke? I'm just not an idiot, Dave. I'm not a sucker who believes that if my tribe says it, then it must be true, because it's all about tribalness. It's all about breaking down into groups, little groups, and my group's better than your group. America? Well, fuck America. Half of America is a bunch of commie Democrats. I hope they all die, because my side's right. You're the problem, Dave. You are the problem. No, I'm not a Democrat. Sarah Adams is a mean woman. I would love to marry her. She drew up target packages for the DOD. She got a lot of bad people killed during the GWAT, and she's a little chubby around the edges. All right, I'll say it. She's a little obese. I don't care. That woman is just pure mean. Mean. And I love her. She's kind of cute too. Yeah, Dave, you move on. I am way, way too smart for you, buddy. You're like, forget it. Just go. Go drink your Bud Light and think about whatever little thoughts you think. You should probably just go gossip about people, because that's the kind of person you strike me as. No, you must be this because you don't agree with Trump. who's the smartest person ever. As a matter of fact, that wasn't, look, that's true. This right here, that's actually a picture of him saving a man who has polio. That is a great question. Let me Google it. Rabbi who wrote the Mishnah Torah. Rabbi Moses ben Maimon. I was right. He lived from 1138 to 1204, commonly known as Maimonides, or by his acronym, Rambam. Let's see. Completed in 1180 after 10 years of work, the 14-volume monumental work is the first comprehensive code of Jewish law, organized systematically in clear Hebrew. Yep. And by the way, when you look this up, see, this is the kind of thing that people don't realize. People don't realize what they're saying about us behind our back. But believe me, kids, it ain't good. What they say about us is not pretty. You got female bones. Not exactly sure what that means. I think. Yes, I am a goyim. Yep. It's interesting because when you really get into this, you do a deep dive into this stuff. It's really not hard to figure out what's going on, because there are two different types of souls according to Jewish mysticism. There is the animal soul, and then there's the human soul, and they are quite different. Although a lot of Christians, they get it completely wrong. They think that in Genesis it says that we should have dominion over the animals, meaning we should eat the animals. But it just says dominion because we're supposed to take care of them. We're supposed to protect them, not poison them. DuPont, Monsanto, evil fuckers. Anyway, so when it comes to animal souls, they believe that animals feel things. They feel remorse, they feel happiness, etc. But they're just not on the same level as humans. They also believe, and this is absolutely a fact, this is not misinformation, I'm not guessing, this is directly out of the Talmud. They believe that we have a different soul than they do. They being the chosen people. They have the soul of a human being. We have the soul of an animal. All goyim do. Whether you're Muslim or whether you're Islam, Hindu, Buddhist, you're not a human. There are very few humans, actually, in the world. And it's their responsibility. It's almost like a cross they have to bear. Pardon the pun. It's a bad analogy. But it's a cross that they have to bear to take care of us. And that's the way they look at it. The ultra-Orthodox look at it as, we have to take care of these animals, these goyim, these Gentiles that think that they're us. And they want to try to be like us, and they want to imitate us like a monkey imitates us. But clearly, they're not us. Look around. Who controls the world? It's not them. It's us. Now, of course, the Chinese the Indians and the Russians, they're not buying that. But because it's a reformed modern Christian country here, it's not a real Christian nation. Like, I'll give you an example. What would be the best example of ancient Christianity? I mean, there's several Orthodox churches, etc., but Ethiopia probably is the most ancient Christian. Obviously, Lebanon has a very ancient Christian tradition, which we're watching the Israelis destroy in front of us right now. In real time, we are watching the Israelis destroy the Christians. And theoretically, the Israelis are our friends. And theoretically, in spite of the fact that they absolutely can't stand you and they think the name Jesus Christ is not only idiotic because he can't be the Christ, and they call him the Nazarene. They call us, by the way, Nazarenes. They don't call us Christians. Most people in this country don't even know that. They won't even use the word Christians because it infers that we are believers in the one true Christ. And then we're not according to them. Oh, they're using our bombs. That's right. They're using our bombs to kill Christians. For those of you who think, wait a minute, no, it's Lebanon. It's the Middle East. The president of Lebanon is a Christian. The guy who just retired as the head of their defense forces, of all of their armed services, is Christian. It's mostly Christian nation. The Christians and the Muslims have no qualms with each other there. There is no fight there. And that's fantastic. When I see a situation where Christians and Muslims can live together, that's awesome. When I see what's going on in Japan and how they're fighting for their own language and their own halal meat and trying to make Japan fit into their narrative, you're not going to do that. Saving Israel for last. I'm not sure what that means, but yeah, I've just been waiting. And I've said this on my live stream. Some of you have seen me say this. I've been saying on my live streams, I'm very, very, very curious about something. What I'm curious about is I'm curious about Turkey. They're in NATO. No, I'm not God. I'm just a little piece, just like you. We're all little pieces of God. Can you imagine? No ogre gods. You mean no other gods? Can you imagine if the United States, if we were just free to do what was best for us? Can you imagine that? I think about that and it's like, what if we could just turn and say to Israel, no more. We're done. We're just done. We're not your enemy. We don't want to see you destroyed. We don't want to see you driven into the sea. None of that shit. But learn to live peacefully with these people by yourself or perish. It's not up to us anymore. You're not the only democracy. You're not even close. And by the way, we don't want anything to do with what's going on here. We can't stomach killing children any longer. And that's it. True, they hate Christians. They do poison us. Although, I'd like to find out who has been in charge of Monsanto and DuPont and 3M for the last, say, 80 years. I'd like to see the succession of their CEOs, their CFOs. I'd like to know, because these companies, they made it very clear that they don't care if they kill us. Well, we know that Bayer is German, and Bayer is an evil company. They care nothing about anybody outside of Germany. Yeah, that's true. They are experimenting on us. It is really sad because, like you look at the idea of what we could be, and the idea is amazing. Like imagine if our thing, DuPont, I thought I said DuPont and Monsanto. Yeah, because DuPont and Monsanto, see, everybody, this is how magicians work. It's distraction. Okay. Hey, look over here. Well, what is that? It's global warming. Well, okay, but wait a minute. Global warming, that's something that's been going on. Global warming and cooling. There have been ice ages, interglacial periods. I mean, what are you talking? No. This time it's man-made. Okay, but the Earth's been heating and cooling, and I can show you cycles. 400 years ago, we were in a mini ice age. And then we went into a warm period that nobody can explain. There were no cars back then. Well, what was that? Don't talk about that. Okay, but then why are we talking about global warming so much? Global warming. Because over here is what's really going on. Global poisoning. Well, wait a minute. Does Teflon affect the atmosphere? No. But okay, so it doesn't make the world any warmer? No, it's irrelevant. But does it cause 9 very specific types of cancer? Yeah. Is it in every living thing on the fucking planet now, including the ice in Antarctica? Yeah. Everything? Yeah. So these forever compounds that you came up with that destroy things are in every living creature. Are they in plants? Well, yeah, duh. Okay, are they in mammals? Yep. Reptiles? Yep. Amphibians? Of course. What about bees? Yep. Honey? Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. But we're not talking about that. No. Look, that's just an industrial thing. Okay, but what about glyphosate? No. Don't worry about glyphosate. Did you know that it could kill people? Yeah, of course we knew that. Well, what about Agent Orange? Did you have any idea that Agent Orange could kill every fucking person you sprayed it on? Yeah, I mean, we had studies that showed that. But you still sprayed it? Yeah, I mean, we figured out early on that it was, and I quote from the company memo, the most toxic chemical ever produced. They had never seen a chemical produced ever. Stupid. He got himself in trouble all the time. He finally got a burn on his hand from changing the barrel. He was a machine gunner. He put his asbestos glove on and then reached over and grabbed the barrel with his other hand. Nobody knows why he did it. He doesn't know why he did it. He just reached over and snatched the barrel with his hand, and it was cherry red. And when he dropped it, all the skin came off of his hand with it. And he just stood there looking at his hand, and it's like, at that point, you don't even really feel anything. You immediately go into shock. They court-martialed him. And I remember saying, they court-martial him for it. And they said destruction of government property. You're not a person. You're government property. Okay. Well, that's nice to know, I suppose. So anyway, where are we at with oh, look at that. Silver's up again. Okay, well, that's nice. Look, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's up 1.5%. I'm not gonna lie to you. Where is it gonna go tomorrow? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Where is it gonna go in the next week? Nobody knows. Period. Nobody knows the answer to that, because it's dependent on whether or not this orange-haired idiot decides to go full on wartime and shut down the world's economy completely, in which case silver is going to go through the floor. It could literally hit 60. Now, if he doesn't do that, and we've come up with a way to just walk away, like after a bar fight where everybody walks away saying, I won. Everybody's got a few lumps, but everybody figures they won the fight. So fuck it. Let's buy a round of beer. If that happens, now we've got two options, because right now, I wonder if the price is silver drop because getting their hands. No. And this is why, because you've got two options at this point. And this is what most people won't tell you. If this war goes on, then this whole thing about China trying to corner the market, does it matter? Does it matter at all? No, because their economy's shut down. So they corner the market and then they sit on the metal. That doesn't do us any good. However, if the war goes on, we will see double-digit inflation because we're already there. We are right now at 10% inflation. Now, if what this guy John says, if he did just release $2.5 trillion into the economy, if he gave a thumbs up to that, then we're fine. Silver will be at $100 real fucking soon. But here's my point. If the war goes on, we are going to be right now, by the way, right now, just right this fucking minute, we're at 10% inflation. Okay, so bye Biden. Biden is no longer the king of modern inflation. Okay, Trump has trumped Biden big time. So we're at 10% now. And what I mean by that is when you factor in $120, $130 a barrel oil and all of the products that are needed for oil, like people aren't thinking about this. Where's your fertilizer coming from? Well, it comes from the Middle East. No, it doesn't. Not right now. Bye-bye. If you release that kind of money, it goes through the roof. Absolutely. So here's the thing. We went from 0.2 inflation. This is our fucking CPI. Consumer Price Index 2 months ago was at 0.2. That's no inflation. That's no inflation. That's fucking mind-boggling. Right now, because of oil and all of the other products that they have, that they need, we're at 10%. We're already at 10%. If this war does last 2 more weeks, we will be at 13% inflation in actual terms. By the way, Texas, you misspelled dumb. That's not how you spell dumb. Let's see. I'm going to go verify it on ChatGPT. Sometimes ChatGPT is correct. If you really want to do it, go to petersaintange.com. PhD economist. I study all of his stuff. He's from the Austrian school, which is the opposite of the, oh, don't worry, just do socialist stuff and it'll all work out school, which I don't buy at all. I am not a Keynesian economist. I can't stand Maynard. He's an absolute fucking nightmare. commie, among other things. So we're at 10% now. That means that if we do anything else stupid, like print more money to stimulate the dying economy, which is very possible, if that happens, then I can tell you this: where we will be with silver by the end of the year is well over 100. Now, will it be the 300 that I was talking about at the beginning of the year? No, it won't be. And the reason is, even though the it's coming over the next 10 years, okay, then yeah, I'm not worried. Well, they will print money, by the way. Now, and it's not the Fed. The Fed rarely prints money. They just push banks to make loans. That's how money's actually created nowadays. So if this thing keeps going, I can tell you this: it will be the perfect opportunity for the powers that be to step in and fix our flailing economy with a CBDC. I'm not real happy about that. I would really not like to see a central bank digital currency. However, it's what's coming. Just telling you, that's what's coming. And it'll be in such a way, it'll be done in such a way that, of course, I'm not sure what that meant, but the CBDC will be done in such a way that banks will still make their money. It won't be the end of banks as we know it. Unfortunately, it'll just mean that they can watch every single dime we spend. There will be zero privacy. Unless, of course, you're using silver. If you're using silver, and I mean, I got my silver dime here. My silver dime, this little teeny, skinny little dime, it's worth $7 now. Absolutely crazy. Because when I was a kid, what I could have bought with that dime is exactly what I could buy with the amount that silver is worth now. So what I'm telling you is that money never changes value, and products should go down in price, not up. That's why our grandparents said a penny saved is a penny earned. Because back then there was deflation, and it was good. It's great deflation, because it meant that if I saved up some money, so okay, I saved up 10 grand. Wow, you saved up 10 grand? Yeah. Well, how much was a car when you started saving up? Well, a new Toyota was like, $1,000 back in the 60s. Well, what is it now? Well, it's 800. Oh, wow, that's cool. Wait, how does that work? That doesn't happen. That only happens in electronics. Why doesn't that happen in any other part of our economy? Because we're not using real money. We're using fake printed up coupons that are all instruments of debt. Well, if you do that, then how do you expect the money to be more valuable tomorrow when you made more of it? I mean, it's really simple. On the other hand, it's just people don't think in these terms. Like, they're given money and it's like, oh, I have money. Okay, good. You've got money. So what do I do with my money? Should I put it away? No, don't put it away. If you put it away, you're pissing it away. Let me give you an example. Let's say that and let's do this real time, just for shits and giggles. Okay, let's say that in the year 2000. Okay, in the year 2000, and boom. Okay, in 2000, silver was $4.95. Okay, let's do some mathematics. Okay, boom. Okay, so we know that the average home was $189,000. 189,000 divided by, let's just call it $5, $495. Let's just call it $5 equals, Jesus Christ, you would have needed 37,800 ounces. Is that right? Yeah. You would have needed 37,000 ounces. Well, 38,000. It's 37,800. Let's round up a couple hundred. So you would have needed 37,800 or 38,000. Okay, now let's do the math. I love math. Math doesn't fucking lie to you. Okay? When you're doing math is legit. So, where are we at right this second? I know that Comex says whatever bullshit. It's total bullshit. But let's go here and let's find out what you can actually buy it for. Okay, so 87.88 or 87.89, 87.90. Okay, so let's call it $88. All right, so 37,800 times $88 times $88 equals the fuck. That's funny. Okay, well, guys, this is this is fucking great. Okay, it's $3.3 million. So, if you bought a house back then, think about this for a second. I mean, holy shit, guys. We've been told our whole lives that grandpappy and grandma, were old fashioned. They used to can their own peaches. Can your own peaches. That's right. They were good folks. Simple minded fuckers, but they were good folks. And they were the ones who wanted to stack silver. Shit. So obviously, when you look at this, something ain't adding up. Hello? Okay. Well, the King James Bible is good, but if you want to get one that's really interesting, see if they have an Ethiopian Bible. Yeah, the Ethiopian Christians have it's one of the oldest forms of Christianity, and they were separated from. Yeah, well, they were separated from the rest of the Christians almost 2,000 years ago, and so because of that, they have books that nobody else has in their Bible. Yeah, and now like you saw my grandpa's. I showed you my grandfather's, or I guess your great grandfather's, and it had things in there that people don't even have in their new ones. And it's a King James. But they've even started taking stuff out of the King James in the last 100 years. Yeah, the Scofield Bible destroyed Christianity. So, okay. No. Yeah, the it's a new international version. Yeah, don't bother. That's been rewritten again. So, yeah, see if you can find an Ethiopian Bible, and if you can, snag me one too, and I'll pay you back when you get home. And I got to go because I'm still doing my live stream. Yeah, King's get a King James for yourself. I've got a couple of like 150-year-old ones here at the house. But yeah, grab yourself one. All right, love you. Bye. Yeah, my daughter's buying a Bible, so she needed to know which one. Um, yeah, exactly. But my daughter was calling because we were supposed to have dinner together, and so I wanted to find out, like, is she calling because she's not coming back for dinner? Because if so, I'm still making the same amount. I'm just going to eat it all. So, yeah, 4 daughters. Meathead, did you just touch my door? I'm watching your live stream. I was just walking by and touched the door handle. And one son who's watching the live stream with us right now. So, all right, buddy. And he bumped into my office door as he walked by. Okay, so what have we learned? What we've learned is it's definitely time. It's definitely time to take silver seriously. I'm going to have to check these numbers. If that's true, if what I just put here is accurate, and I mean, you saw me do the numbers. If it's $5, yeah, $5, and I mean, God, by the end, this is fucking crazy. By the end of 03, it was only at $4.50. Now, okay, I mean, maybe I should do this again. Okay, let's just make sure that I'm not losing my mind. Okay, so we know that in 03, that basically 2000, the average home price in the United States was $189,000. I know that for a fact. So if I take $189,000, okay, $189,000, and I divide that by the amount that each ounce costs, I should get the total amount needed to buy it. Right? I mean, it's pretty simple shit here. All right. So 189,000. And let's divide that by 5 equals, okay, 37,800. Now, if we have 37,800 ounces, that's what we need to buy a house, the average home in the year 2000. This is all pretty straight up. But here's the point, John. It's not too late. And it's funny because we're talking about 26 years ago. My buddy used to say, best time to plant a tree, 20 years ago. Second best time, right now. So, we've got 37,800. I just looked silver rounds right now, Buffalo rounds go for it. And this is only if you buy at least 500 of them. So I'm not quoting you what it costs to buy one. It's actually $1 more for just one. But if you're buying 500 at a time and you're using a wire, it's basically $88. Okay, so 37,000. That's how many ounces it took to buy a house. Just making sure we're all clear on this, because these numbers are pretty wild. Okay, so 37,800 times $88 per ounce, right? Equals, again, it equals $3.3 million. Okay, let's take a deep breath here because we all know what the average home price is today. Okay, the average home price today is about $420,000. What the fuck, guys? That means that silver is so much better an investment that it's just nuts. Now, David, is that 350? Because I know it was 400 for like 420 a year ago. Now, is that nationwide or is that your area? Because if that's nationwide, man, that means that the prices are coming down. And I knew they would. I knew. Oh, okay, in your market, yeah. Because I was going to say, see, this is the thing, guys. This is what I do all day long. I do homework like this. I can tell you what it would have cost in silver to buy a Ferrari in 1975. I did all this because I wanted to find out, like, what else, like you got a classic Ferrari now. Okay, what's that? What's that worth? Was it better than silver? No, it wasn't. Average home price, US. Boom. Whoa. Something's weird here. This median home price for a new home has been higher, often exceeding 400,000, but the average United States home value is home value. See that? Did you see that there, North Carolina real estate guy? See what they did there? You got to be really fucking careful. Like, I really feel bad for people who live in this day and age that are not wordsmiths. Because if you're not being super careful, super careful, you'll let something like that slip. As of March 2026, the average United States home value is approximately 366, making it a 0.4% increase in the past year. I didn't ask what the value, the assumptive value was, did I? I asked what the fucking price was. See the huge difference there? Hey, look, I got an iPhone 5062 XY model with the fucking see through your clothes option. It's worth $1 billion. What do you mean you only give me $1,000 for it? Fuck you. That's the problem. What's my house worth? Well, it's my house. Are you crazy? I painted that back porch myself. It's worth $1 billion. How many times have you guys that are watching me that are real estate people had people that are like, well, put a lot of sweat and a lot of tears into this place. I've done a lot of work on it. I actually redug that septic all by myself. And you're like, oh, fuck. I don't even want to know that. Like, don't even tell me that you redid the septic without a permit, because I don't even want to know that shit. But I'm sure you did it better than a fucking licensed contractor would have. And that's the thing, is it, what's the value? The value is what price you can get for it. So why would you change my question and answer a question I didn't ask? I didn't ask what the value was. I asked what the price is. Oh, well, let's ask the Federal Reserve Bank. Median sales price goes up to, oh, shit. I haven't seen this graph. Oh, median sales price of houses sold for the United States. Oh, wow. This ain't pretty. This ain't pretty. Fourth quarter of 2022, $442,000 average for the US. Fourth quarter of 2025, 405. That's damn near a 10% drop in prices over 3 years. I'm telling you, folks, it's not going to be pretty. It is not going to be pretty. You want to figure out what the real estate market should be? Here's what you do. Go from 2012 and add 4.5% per year. They have another 20 or 30% to go. What in God's name makes you say that out loud? Oh, you mean down? I thought you meant up. I was like, holy shit, man. Why do you think, like, I would not want to be trying to sell my house a year from now? You mean down? Yes. Holy shit. Yeah, I could see. Well, here's what it is. Go to 2012, and then go 4.5% per year and see where we're at, because that's what the real estate market goes up per year. Now, one thing that you have to understand, down. What you have to understand is commercial real estate is about to fail completely. And I know I've been saying this for 2 years. I've been shouting from the rooftops for 2 years. But just this year, office conversions and demolitions have finally outpaced office construction. New construction, and not by a tiny bit, office conversions and destruction, 26,000 buildings. New office construction, 13,000. It's not even close. So all that commercial real estate out there that nobody wants, it's all tripping. And when I say tripping, I don't mean on shrooms. I don't mean on acid. I mean on mortgage rates. These are guys that are coming to the ends of their 18, 24, 36 month, 2% good times COVID mortgages, and they're going to have to roll them over. Now, at a 2% COVID mortgage, when they had 80% occupancy at the beginning of COVID, they were good to go. Now, all of a sudden, they're at 40% occupancy, which means that their cap rate's zero. It's negative already. Once they go in for a new one and it's 6%, they're going to walk away. Remember, these aren't human beings. These are corporations. Corporations are not human beings at all. So we're in a situation where the commercial real estate market is going to collapse. It's ironic that a commercial real estate tycoon is the reason. Look, this is, when people say, oh, Trump's smarter than you think, no, he's not. No, he's not. Okay? I know that he's not stupid. I know he's not a stupid person. But I also see, based on the way he's handling things, based on what should be done, based on what could be done, and based on what he's doing, that he is no genius. He is no statesman. He is literally fucking this up from one end to the other. You don't like the thing about Nixon that was interesting was he was a little bit of a loose cannon, and therefore China really wanted to just sort of placate him to, like, let's not mess with this guy. You know, we don't want to take over the world. We just want to have our part of the world safe. So this guy's a little bit of a nutcase, and let's just say, okay, we'll do business with you. What's the worst that can happen? And it worked out great. This guy is something entirely different. This is not, because there are certain things that you can say without hurting civilization. And I mean this on a civilizational level. This guy's doing damage to what it means to be a statesman. These are the types of madman claims that you get from crazy, drug addicted African dictators who have 500 medals on their chest that they made up out of thin air. And for some reason, they always seem to be really sweaty. Even in the air conditioning, they're still sweating really bad. And, all the people in their country are starving, but they're a billionaire somehow. That's the way he's acting right now. I will destroy you. It's like there are certain rules of engagement. I can tell you this. I'm going to leave you with this. Look up Stuxnet. Look up Nitro Zeus, and understand that if we decide to go really hard on Iran, the first place that Stuxnet was ever used was in Iran to fuck up their centrifuges. We didn't release it. Yeah. We didn't release Stuxnet. We had a plan to release Stuxnet. The Israelis, because Benjamin Netanyahu was getting pressured from the right, and because he's a war criminal and he's going to go to prison, there's no question in anybody's mind, he'll be in prison as soon as the wars all stop. The corruption is so deep, so wide, goes for so long. So what happens when he's gone? Woo! But he was being pressured by the far right to go in and take care of Iran. So he released Stuxnet prematurely before we were ready for him to. And because of that, within 24 hours of it being released, yes, it did fuck up their centrifuges. It also gave away who did it, and it was clearly the United States and Israel. And Ahmadinejad, who had up until that point been trying to become an ally of the United States. Yes, I said that. He was trying to become an ally of the United States. He was trying to soften the blow. He was not a hardliner. After 9/11, he let us use his bases to launch our attacks on Afghanistan. He also promised to sell us oil at no more than $40 a barrel, ever. And we said, fuck you, we don't need your oil. Well, that's what Bush said. I would have said yes. And by the way, I love your crispy rice. So, but then again, I'm not a war hawk. I don't have to have a war to feel like my penis is still attached. Lindsey Graham. So, we released Stuxnet a little early, and because of that, everybody's got it. But on top of that, we have Nitro Zeus. Nitro Zeus gives us the ability to go into computer systems anywhere in the world, any computer systems we choose, and literally hit a button and shut down whatever those computer systems are attached to or control, which means that we could literally shut down all of Iran's power infrastructure, all of it, their entire civilian grid in 15 minutes. That's not a joke. I'm not joking. That's an absolute fact of life. They have it too. Almost every SCADA system, which is a control system for gas pipelines or dams or whatever, any kind of warehousing or manufacturing plant will have SCADA systems. Anything that's computerized is going to have SCADA systems. Every single one of those SCADA systems is infected. Every single one of those systems is infected. If we shut them off, they can shut us off too. That's just the way it is. Zeus Nitro is it's not even top secret anymore. If it was, I wouldn't be allowed to say it. Let's see, he's asking Turkey for their most beautiful girl. Are they going to make her shave her forehead first? I'm not making fun of those big monobrows. The monobrow's hot. If your name's Targ. So that's going to get me kicked off of here real quick. Yeah, bottom line is the cyber attack from Iran would be catastrophic. That's why you need my book. Speaking of which, am I stupid? Where's my website? HowTube. HowTube is where you go. That's what you want to do. You want to go to HowTube, and when you get to HowTube, well, now that's interesting. Where's HowTube? Oh, there it is. Duh. Right in the middle. Okay, HowTube. Log in. Let's see if I have any orders yet. I didn't really talk about it last week, so before I got kicked off the air. All right. I hope I hooked everything up correctly. That would be bad if I didn't do that. Okay, my products. Survival guide, pre-sale of the survival guide on HowTube. Okay. All right. So you can go to HowTube. And by the way, if you have any issues, my number's up there. You can text me. But I would like somebody go buy the book. When did this happen? Wait, which is Trump must be in awe of General of Uganda asking Turkey. Oh, I think that's a joke. That's got to be a joke. Invitation. What did I just invite? Oh, I hit that on accident. All right. Okay, so somebody, Celeste, maybe you, can go to howtube.com, HOWTUBE.com, and buy the pre-sale of my survival guide. Which, by the way, I'll just give you a little snippet. I know you guys are interested. I know I got one guy on here, West Virginia Heathen. Are you on here, West Virginia Heathen? You on here with us? And yeah, by the way, Celeste, if you find out that there's any issues with buying it, if they won't let you, let me know, because it should be hooked up to the Stripe account. So let's see here. Yeah, I'm going to read you part of the book that's going to blow your mind. It'll definitely make you go, really? Okay, let's see. What am I doing here? Okay, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to here. Okay, HowTube, HOWTUBE, howtube.com. And then if you look up, let's see, if you go to my page on there, I think actually, if you just, I'm going to go to let me go to the main page real quick. Okay. And then let's go to search how to and put in survival. Oh, shit, I'm not even close to the top. Okay. Yeah, you're not going to want to do that. You're going to want to go to, I'm glad I'm finding this stuff out now. You're going to want to go to my channel. And my channel is Asset Security Group. It's kind of fun. We're doing this live. We're doing a little run through here to make sure I can actually get you guys these guides. And just so you're clear, I will read you a little piece of this that if you don't know, you need to know. All right. Let's get down here to the interesting part. Okay, assess the trend. Let's see. EMPs as opposed to solar flares. Very different. Okay, what to expect. This will be very interesting for a lot of people because this is not something that you typically think about. Well, this is something I can tell you nobody thinks about. Some key factors to look for. Here's a couple. If you're in a major city, university campuses, I just see videos. Huh. Let's by the way, absolutely under no circumstances can you stay in a high rise. If you're in a high rise, don't stay there. Okay, let's see. How to purchase. Oh, you know what? Go to the store. And then look under orders or my products. I think you have those settings too. Pretty sure. I know I have product categories, but I only have one category really. That's the key to this. I don't have a ton of different categories. That's funny. I think Too Evil to Hope was joking. He said, "Isn't it true that the U.S. needs Israel more than they need the U.S.?" Yeah, right. Ocean's 11. Yes, I have. And it was really good. I read 1 second after. Oh, I read 1 second after. It was a good read. Yes. Now, here's the thing that's probably outdated now. It probably doesn't really apply to us anymore. And the reason for that is if you look at back then, we thought that we were going to be dropping bombs on each other directly. That would probably not be a very good idea. Depends. If you're talking about a country as densely packed as India, most parts of China, you don't drop bombs on the cities. It's irrelevant. Why would you do that? You've just made the cities uninhabitable for quite a while. You drop bombs above the cities at 100,000 feet. The fallout will be blown away, land harmlessly in the ocean. Most of it will be gone by the time it lands anyway. But the electromagnetic pulse generated from those blasts will absolutely destroy their electrical systems. Factories, water treatment facilities, everything is gone. Well, at that point, you're done. You are absolutely done. If you live in a modern society and you have no electricity, you're screwed. And that's why I made this book, because there are dozens of books out there by guys that are like Navy SEALs. Yeah, bro, first thing you got to do is you got to do 400 push-ups a day. And you got to run extreme marathon twice a week. Otherwise, you're just not jacked enough to carry an 80-pound pack with your Alice gear and your radios and your whole loadout, bro, because you got to take, your 30-30. It's because it's a good brush gun. It's short. But you're probably going to want a 300 blackout for the long ops, Fuck. Whatever. You're not shooting your way out of shit. If you get in a gunfight, you're in deep shit. You've already screwed the pooch if you're in a gunfight completely. Because what you want to do is if you're in a city, leave quietly, quickly, or don't leave for a long, long time. If you're stuck in a city, you're stuck in a city. But things that they don't tell you when they're talking about their Navy SEAL shit, which is great. Look, if you're 35 years old and you are 4% body fat, good for you, man. I'm not anymore. Okay? Look, I was a Marine Corps master combat swimmer. I was lean and mean. Now I'm on meal team 6. I'm not worried about it because the reality is I'm not running 30 miles. I'm not running anywhere unless a mammal bigger than me is chasing me. And 300 pounds, that ain't going to happen. So I'm not worried about it. I am worried about making sure everybody in the neighborhood doesn't find out that I've got something that tastes good in my house, because I don't care how many guns you've got. You've only got 2 hands to pull triggers with. And usually only one can be accurate. So if you're not doing it correctly, you're going to end up in a gunfight you can't win. And all gunfights are losers, because the reality is that when you get in a gunfight, everybody knows you're in a gunfight. Everybody in the neighborhood knows there must be something worth fighting for. Now, they may not come running over immediately, but they'll figure out which house it is, and they'll stop by in a day or two, and they'll shout first. They won't sneak in. I mean, they might, but they probably won't sneak in and try to kill you. But they'll know you have food. That's why you got in the gunfight. So don't do it. Is anybody having any luck here? Because I suppose I'm an idiot. Really. What if I logged out and I just went back to the site and bought one myself? All right, so log out. Okay, now search ASG Does that work? No. Can't abbreviate. Okay, fuck it. Asset security group. I know it sounds like a CIA front. Whatever. Hey, there I am. All right, boom, Martin Grant, Asset Security Group. All right, now let's see. If I wanted to shop, boom. Hey, survival guide. Add to cart. Boom. View my cart. Boom. It can't be this fucking easy. Proceed to checkout. Okay, email address. Big corn fed. What'd you expect? Ezekiel? Of course it's big and corn fed. At gmail.com. Okay. Continue. Shipping address. All right. This is boring. This is not why I'm doing a live stream. I'm not trying to bore you guys to death. I click on your picture. It says videos menu. Yeah. Where it has a shop. Well, I'm already up in it. So let me finish ordering. Phone number. Okay. Address. Some of you already know my address because you've purchased from me and you have my address. And city is Phoenix. Strange way to spell a word. It's American, though. It's what we do here. 032. I am not in Alabama. Although I'd like to be in Alabama just because hot redneck girls. I would really like to meet some hot redneck girls. Oh, continue. Okay, well, this is easy. Hell, this is turning out. Son of a bitch, really? I don't have my wallet. All right, well, this is where we stop for now. But I'm going to go ahead and finish buying, and you should too. You should think about it, seriously. Go and buy the pre-sale, because I'm signing all of those. And then you'll have it in 3 to 5 weeks, I think is what the printer said. So, all right, let's do this. And by the way, I'm going to start advertising tomorrow. I'm going to start advertising tomorrow for the pre-sale on all the platforms. I'm actually going to spend a little money and pay for advertising, which I don't normally do. But, you know, this thing with Iran really woke me up to the fact that, hey, you know what? We could lose our grid any day for any number of reasons. And even if we lost our grid to a Stuxnet attack, it would still take months, maybe a year, for us to really be able to get our country back up and running. In which case, the DoD's number of 90% mortality is still correct. My God, I'm not going to be one of those. I'm not letting anybody in my family become one of those. That's not how I roll. It's not what we're going to do. So just so you know, a lot of my regulars are smartasses, including the guy who just said 3 to 5 weeks. We can send people to the moon and back in 10 days. You mean we can send them around a sound stage in 10 days? I don't know. Maybe they actually went this time. I'm starting to think they didn't go last time, though. I know. That really makes me a lunatic, but the reality is there's just too much shit going on there. Well, Celeste, come on, go figure out how to buy my book. I will show you how to survive that. No, now we started a whole new thing about whether we went to the moon or not. Let's talk about that tomorrow, guys. All right, you guys have a great night.